So another interesting fight that's on the card is Jarrell Miller versus Daniel Dubois. Now this is quite an interesting fight in the sense that obviously Jarrell Miller is the massive question mark when it comes to this particular fight, and the reason for that is up to now, like we've seen him fight without being steroided up. I'm assuming because he was in certain fights where his stamina and just his work rate was just not the same before in the past where he was steadied up. So in my opinion, in this fight against Daniel Dubois, Jarrell Miller just looks like he looks more intimidating and imposing, but this could just be a front to cover up the fact that he knows that he's not going to be at his absolute best when he fights Daniel Dubois, because he posted it up in his on his Twitter feed. I think he said that he's been tested like 6 times in the last 5 days or something like that. So this guy has been quite tested, but I got a feeling that he might have the measure of the man in terms of beating Daniel Dubois. And the reason why I think that is it's a mentality thing. It just seems like Jarrell Miller in the last couple of weeks leading up to this card has been quite aggressive and quite confrontational. And he seems like he really is up for this fight. Like he confronted Eddie Hearn and said, "Oh, you didn't back me back in the day like you did Conor Ben when my steroid allegations came out." And he also confronted Anthony Joshua only a couple of days ago, and he's also been talking a lot of smack to Daniel Dubois. So it seems like from a confrontational point of view, he seems like he's really up for this fight. But the fact is, I think Daniel Dubois should have the beating of him. But I think this is much closer to a 50-50 than previously thought, because of the fact that Jarrell Miller hasn't been beat yet. Jarrell Miller's got a lot of mass. Jarrell Miller is very game and he's going to go for it. And he seems like as big as the stage is, he's going to be confrontational and try to be aggressive. And Jarrell Miller's a very game fighter, and he does seem to have a bit of a killer instinct. It seems like he wants to redeem himself after his steroid allegations. Now, Daniel Dubois is coming off losses to Usyk. Daniel Dubois obviously quit in his fight against Joyce. Obviously, he did win the WBA title, a minor version of the belt, when he fought on that Don King card. But generally speaking, Daniel Dubois is coming off a loss to Usyk. I know it was a bit of a controversial loss because of the alleged low blow, but the fact is a loss, and he did. Many people said that he quit in that fight. So going into this fight, I think I might take a bit of a punt, and I might actually put my money on Jarrell Miller actually beating Daniel Dubois. The reason why I say that is that obviously Jarrell Miller's not coming off a loss. Jarrell Miller, even though he didn't look spectacular in his last couple of fights, still won them. And Jarrell Miller's got a lot of mass. Jarrell Miller looks like he's aggressive. He seems like he's very chomping at the bits to get into this fight. And Daniel Dubois coming off his loss, he seems a bit fragile. He's still confident. He obviously believes he can win, and from a talent point of view, he's probably hits harder than Jarrell Miller. He probably is more athletically gifted and bigger and such. But I just think Jarrell Miller's through force of attrition and the fact that he's so up for this fight, I think he might beat Daniel Dubois. But I think it's going to be fairly close because of Daniel Dubois is younger. He's in a position where obviously Frank Warren is one of the promoters of the show, so he might get preferential judging. I'm not sure. But I think I'm going to go for Jarrell Miller with I think he's going to win with it's not going to be a close decision, but it's going to be a close decision, but I think it's going to be more of a war of attrition, and I just think he's going to break Daniel Dubois down because Daniel Dubois has shown fragility in his last couple of fights. He quit against Joyce. I'm not criticizing him for quitting because obviously I think he broke his eye socket in that fight, and obviously it did seem like he waved the white flag when he came to fighting Usyk. Towards the end of it, he just refused to get up. So with that being said, I think, and obviously he's coming off a loss to Usyk fairly recently. So with that being said, I just think Jarrell Miller might just break him down and beat him because of his very imposing personality, the fact that he's quite aggressive, the fact that he's going to go for it. But this is a very interesting fight. It's a very good fight that's on the card. So very much looking forward to it. But I think Jarrell Miller might win this. That's my opinion. Tell me what you think below. Do you think Daniel Dubois can turn this around? Do you think he could get the win? Maybe it's a bit of a ridiculous pick because I don't think Jarrell Miller's fought anyone that's quite on the level of Daniel Dubois. But it's an interesting fight. We'll see what happens. Tell me what you think below, and like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace.